Hello, everyone. Just ahead, an author, Phoenix Rising, and the Claremore Hall of Fame. You might want to take notes. And we're here with our first guest, Mark Darrah. Correct pronunciation?
Yes.
Good to have you here, Mark. You sent a copy of the book. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But first, what brings you to the campus?
Well, there's an endowed lecture that Rogers State has every year called the Carl G. and Gladys L. Harrington Distinguished Lecture. That's going to be next Thursday, April the 5th, and that's for the students. That morning at the Carolyn Taylor Center, there's a public session which is co-sponsored by the BM chapter of PEO, a women's organization here in Tulsa. And at the morning session, I will be reading some selections from my book, A Catalog of Common People, and then also presenting some ideas and some stories that haven't been published or broadcast before.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's good to have you on campus.
Thank you.
This is the book. I don't know if this, yeah, there you go. A Catalog of Common People. One word left out, which I kept dropping in as I read it, was a catalog of uncommon common people. It just seemed to lend itself to that. And I have to tell you, this flows like syrup.
Well, thank you.
It is so smooth. And I wish I'd had the idea before you.
Well, I take that as a compliment, and I thank you for reading my book.
I especially enjoyed the part about Bob Wills.
Yeah.
Now, everybody knows who I'm talking about when I say Bob Wills, but what they may not know, and this harkens back to 1939, the country's still in the throes of the Depression. And occasionally, of course, the wives would come at that point to watch the boys play. But occasionally, there might be a little lady out there that's sort of making eyes at one of the musicians, and if the wife saw that, there was liable to be a fist fight.
That's right.
So the end result was Bob Wills put his foot down and said, "No more wives."
Yep.
No
That's
more
it.
wives.
Yeah.
Pardon me. The other was the discussion about your father,
Yes.
a former minister.
Correct.
And I love the way you got into this because you talk about the cassettes in a drawer of your father's sermons
Correct.
that he'd give to you, and you'd take them in and just toss them in the drawer, and you'd get to them later. And sometimes you did, and sometimes you didn't, which you paraphrased as a typical preacher's boy,
Yep.
which makes perfect sense. Then toward the end, the question hangs in the air, why did a man who gave his life to good have to end his life this way? And you never get to answer that, do you? You never find it.
No, I don't. But I got to hear what my father said in a sermon because I listened to those tapes. My father was in a nursing home for 10 years. He wasn't able to move. He could barely scratch his nose. He wasn't able to do anything for himself. And that was difficult. But he had preached a sermon about 20 years before where he talked about why bad things happen to good people.
I read that.
And that was as close as I got.
The part where he said, it's just God's way,
Yep.
is blasphemy.
Yep.
And boy, is he right.
Yep, that's right.
He is so right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the book. Grab a copy. Where is it available?
It's available at the Rogers State bookstore. It's available at another chapter bookstore in Owasso and in the bookstore which is located down here at 300 West Will Rogers, the boarding house books.
And you're on campus this coming Thursday.
Yep, and it's at 10 o'clock. Tickets at the Rogers State Foundation. It's a ticketed event because it's a fundraiser.
I love the way you blend the people.
Well, thank you,
Very,
Sam.
very smooth. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you for
We'll
having
get
me
you back
here.
in here.
Thank
Short
you.
break. We'll be back with Phoenix Rising and the principal of the residence right after this.